It was another time for a moonlight dance, another time for tales by moonlight. And we gathered for open and secret whispers. As it was time for the storyteller to begin, the ikoro instrument sounded. We listened carefully and waited for the dancers to emerge on the dance floor. They were too weak to dance. And I asked them why they were tired. They whispered they were hungry. They whispered they were tired. I said, tired in a land filled with milk and honey, in a land of the oil boom, a country of potentials. And they shook their head. The leader bought a loaf of bread, which about 20 of them shared, taking one piece, little by little. And it broke my heart. They told me of a story of a young man in Owerri who was returning from a trip with the uncle, and they were stopped by policemen for doing nothing. He was threatened. It was either he gave the policeman money or be incriminated in something he didn't know anything about. He was taken to the ATM. He withdrew 60,000 and paid for his freedom for doing nothing. They told me of a story in Katsina State of how 2 billion naira was deducted from the state account for procurement of fertilizers for the farmers. The farmers never got the fertilizer, and nobody knows the whereabouts of more than 2 billion in Katsina State. And they cried for justice. Somebody referred me to a speech made by our dear Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, pastor, senior advocate of Nigeria, on the 27th of April this year, where he called out the elders or the elites, told them to speak out, that their silence is worsening the problem in the country. He said that sometimes it's dangerous to take a position, but more dangerous to remain silent. That the problem in the country is caused by the failure of the elites. And in previous speeches, he also called for new leaders in a new Nigeria. I decided to whisper to him today. People are asking me, why Lera to our dear Osinbajo? And I said, because he will listen, or he may listen. Keep in mind that in my book, Ripples of Blood, written immediately after the MKO Abiola's election in 1993, I said that MKO Abiola would die in detention, that his blood will be sacrificed for the unity of Nigeria. It came to pass. During the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, held in Abuja in 1997, I also said through my dance drama called Bring Back the Mask, I said that our stolen heritage will be returned. I also called out America and told them that unless reparation is paid to the Black Americans, to the African American community, that there will not be closure. America will always be haunted by the shadows of China. And I still repeat it today, that unless that the blacks are compensated for slavery, that America will never really achieve their height in development. Dearest Osinbajo, I am writing my second letter to you again. And my letter to you will center on, as you prepare to lead the new Nigeria come 2023. I am wondering who and who will be part of that new Nigeria, dear Osinbajo. Will you expose the killers of Bola Ige and expose those that tried to kill Governor Ortom of Benue State, dearest Osinbajo? Will our new Nigeria have two laws, one for the rich and one for the poor? Dear Osinbajo, it is time for whispering. Will you expose those policemen that held that young man in Owerri and collected 60,000 from him? Dear Osinbajo, will you allow the brazen corruption going on under the president's nose in his home state, Katsina? Will such an act be allowed in our new Nigeria? Dear Osinbajo, will our elections still be battlefield where 34,000 troops are deployed for an election when Big Brother Nigeria is having seamless voting without blood? Or shall we compound it more and allow these few elites to continue holding the majority to ransom? Ordinary election in Nigeria is the battlefield. Dear Osinbajo, will you accept that everybody is equal in this country called Nigeria? Will there be two laws? One for Gumi, the spokesman for the bandits, and one for Nnamdi Kanu? Will you allow Loretta Onochie to continue casting aspersions on the elders from a particular section of the country for calling for dialogue to resolve the problem in the southeast? In the first place, Osinbajo, in the new Nigeria, will you continue creation of the Nnamdi Kanus, the Gumis, the Sunday Wars, and all of them who have become champions of the oppressed overnight because the federal government created them? I didn't know Nnamdi Kanu before now, but the highlight and the hypes that the government gave him that brought him to limelight. Will you allow Loretta Onochie to continue promoting that cause? In the new Nigeria that is coming up, dear Osinbajo, will you accept a position when you know another section of the country has never tested it, and that allowing them to occupy that position will quell restiveness in that section, will mean inclusiveness, will promote the saying, together we are one, that we are better together than divided? Shall we walk that talk? Shall we base our employment on merit in a new Nigeria? Shall we dissociate ourselves from people like Lai Mohammed, who tells lies to defend the failed administration in our new Nigeria? Dear Osinbajo, will you promote justice as a senior advocate of Nigeria? Will you allow fair play as a pastor? As an erudite professor, will you remove religion from government and stop sponsoring using state money to sponsor trips to Jerusalem or Mecca for religious pilgrimage when the people in the villages are crying for a loaf of bread, are crying for water and shelter? In our new Nigeria, will you allow the silent whispering of the people to turn to open whispers, knowing that when the silent whispers of a people turn to open whispers, the tyrant will know that his time is up? Finally, dear Osinbajo, in this new Nigeria Will you allow people like Buba Ahmed, the spokesman for the Northern Front, to continue to perpetuate division when he calls on the youth? The same youth that they've deprived of basic things of life, telling them that they should not be intimidated, instigating them to rise up against the rest of the country, that they can hold on to power forever and ever. Will you tell him in our new Nigeria that Nigeria has gone bigger than him? That the youths are not fools? That the less privileged are not fools? That in our new Nigeria, that we will not allow elite to continue using religion to divide, to continue making the poor to be poorer in order to achieve their selfish interest. In the new Nigeria, will you tell the northern elders and the southern elders that position is not the problem in Nigeria? That if each person will develop, or each governor will develop their various states, then Nigeria will be bigger and better. That the insecurity in this present Nigeria is being caused by hunger and thirsty. Will you tell them that? That by 2023, Buhari will be history, and the rest that will judge him will be what he left behind. Will you silence a particular people who are crying out for injustice? Will you send the military to kill them and harass them instead of dialoguing with them? Will that be the answer? Shall we allow constructive criticism in our new Nigeria, knowing that that is the hallmark of democracy? In our new Nigeria, when we whisper, will you allow our whisper to be in vain? Will you realize that silent whispers lead to open whispers, and open whispers will drive the tyranny away? That open whispers, once it starts, that it never stops. Our dear Osibanjo, senior advocate of Nigeria, pastor, erudite professor, will you allow the injustice in this country called Nigeria to continue? Will you unite us instead of dividing us? This is the question begging for answers. It is open whispers.